the Painted Desert, the northern end of Petrified Forest National Park. And I'm here with my hiking buddy Kiwi, and just enjoying this like moonscape that we're in. It's really just incredible. I just came around this corner, and all of a sudden, you know, there's all these little white hoodoos all over the place. I don't know if you see that. See how that's just barely sticking up over the ground. That one looks like a little mushroom, but they're all over the place, and some of them are bigger than others. But it's really gorgeous out here. It's maybe about 4 o'clock, early November, and the weather is really picturesque, and the sun is getting low in the sky over in the west, and it's just a cool place to be. So there's all these little speckled volcanic rocks all over the place, and those are actually partly why the Petrified Forest exists. There was a volcanic flow that helped to cover over this area and kind of encapsulate the trees that were destroyed. There's another one of those little hoodoos, and that's what allowed for that chemical change to take place, because these trees were buried, and there's a whole bunch more of them. And the volcanic basalt, that black speckled rock, that stuff helped to seal over the area. It also brought a lot of heat to the area when we had that volcanic activity, and ultimately we've got the cool stuff that we see here today. Petrified Forest, by the way, really incredible for dogs. Super dog friendly. You can't take the dogs into buildings, but other than that, so long as you have them on a leash, they're really cool about it. You know, they would expect you in the backcountry, or anywhere else for that matter, to clean up after your dog. But aside from that, I mean, they're really cool about you bringing your dog wherever you want. And so Kiwi's able to take this journey with me, and I've got my hiking buddy then. So what's cool is, you know, we're out here maybe 5 miles on a direct line of sight. Actually, if you really get in tight there on the zoom, you might be able to see the Painted Desert Inn, and we're maybe about 5 miles from there. We hiked maybe about 6 or 7 miles total so far, but there's no designated trail out here. There's no trail system at all, actually, once you get into the backcountry. So every once in a while you just stumble onto some footprints, and it's cool. You know, it makes you think like, I must be onto something. Somebody came this way, they took this path, and maybe it's gonna lead me to something cool. For a while there, I hung out at Onyx Bridge, which was a really neat little petrified log going across a drainage, and it took a little while to get there. That's what I said. I kind of backtracked. I hiked a little bit more than I needed to. I could have got there in probably about 4 miles, and I ended up getting there in about 6. But I was following some footprints, and I thought, you know, they probably know where they're going. Here's some more prints. And this is also a horse-friendly national park. You could take your horse back here. So for people that are into that sort of thing, you know, I would love to get a horse back here, do a couple of days in the backcountry. Could do some really cool stuff with a horse, I bet. You know, cover a lot of ground. Our goal is maybe about 15 miles. Not today, and in total, we've got 2 days to play with, and we're gonna stay here in this northern section. We're in section 2 of the wilderness area, by the way. This is the section that's just north of the Painted Desert Inn, and we're planning on going down to section 4 later on this weekend. Maybe 2 days from now. That's the southern section that's down south of I-40. There's a cool story about some Model Ts. I can't remember what year, but that supposedly 3 of them took off trying to drive across the desert, California and Arizona, and I don't know exactly where their destination was, but some of those Model Ts ended up out here in the Painted Desert and got stuck in the mud. Right now this stuff's pretty dry, but we went through some wet stuff earlier, and you know, you pick up a tremendous amount of weight. This stuff's like super tacky, and so all of a sudden you're carrying a lot of extra weight or spinning wheels and digging yourself a hole. So there's 2 Model Ts out here in the desert. One is right by a roadway, actually, so you could stop and get a picture, and the other one's somewhere out here. So maybe we'll stumble onto that at some point. So there's a peak. You can see it there, kind of down below the sun and off to the left. That I really would like to try to check that out. I'm not really good at gauging distance out here. It's kind of this moonscape, so you know, we're just kind of zigzagging between washes and, you know, jumping over some grasses and you know, checking out these gigantic logs along the way. And between all this stuff, you know, it's a good distraction of these miles that you're trying to tack on. And really, it's pretty enjoyable. I mean, I'm out here wearing these trail temps, and they provide a lot of cushion. And this is a really sandy spot too. This whole Painted Desert, you know, it's, as the name implies, it's a good bit of sand with the desert. And here we're following some footprints still. So this is a really pretty easy hike too. I would say I haven't added much elevation. Dropping out of the visitor center, I probably lost maybe 200 or 300 feet. And then since that time, it's really been pretty level ground, you know, 10 foot up, 10 foot down, that sort of stuff. So, you know, nothing difficult, but really just such a beautiful place. And I'm glad to be able to share some of this with you.